Okay, so in this video I'm going to do a tutorial on how to fold a basic crane, as you can see here. There's nothing too fancy about it. This is just a basic beginner crane to traditional crane is what it is. And it sits nicely. It doesn't fall over if you do it right. Later I'm going to also upload two tutorials, one on how to do, well, they're both crane variations. One on how to do a wing, beak, and tail modification. And it's a bit advanced, so if you want your crane to look more realistic, you don't have to do necessarily all three modifications, like they're independent from each other. The tail modification and the beak modification are probably the easier of the three. The rose variation is a lot easier than the crane with all three modifications, I think. But for this tutorial, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, you want a square sheet of paper. In this case I have red and yellow, and if you're wondering about what color should be on what side, I want my crane to be red. So I want the yellow side to be tucked away in this case. You want it to be on top. So color side is on top. And the first thing we are going to do is fold, make two valley folds diagonally that will go all the way across the paper. So there's going to be a fold that hits all these marks here. So this side to this side, and actually I'm going to rotate it because I'm right-handed. Try to make sharp creases as well. You don't necessarily have to push down really hard on the paper, but just make it sharp enough to where the crease stays and it's you can see it visibly very well. Do the same with this side as well. So this corner goes to this corner. Paper's sliding a little bit. And just take your time. If you find them going too fast, you can pause it, or too slow, you can fast forward it as well. Okay, so now we want to flip it over. And because of these valley folds we made, the paper is rising up a bit. If you will, just take your finger and push it down in the center. It'll make the next folds easier. So now we want to do what is called a book fold. It's just a fancy way of saying that we're going to fold the paper in half. Just roughly where it's going to be. This way, unfold it, and then do the same this way. Okay, and rotate it. Okay, and unfold. So now you should have these creases here. And what you want to do is imagine that there's 4 squares. Well, technically there are 4 squares. So imagine this is the top one, this is the one left and right. This bottom one, just hold it towards you. And take these two sides. So take this side and then push it down, just along the fold it's on. And then the same for this one. And then push that one down. And then push the top down. And then just flatten everything out. Go over these creases again, don't add any new ones. This is called the preliminary base. And a lot of origami models use this for different things. The bottom is open, the top is closed. And you want to keep the closed part on top, you don't want to rotate it like this, because then, well, that would be a different origami base. But you'd be going into like a frog or lily base, but anyway, that's besides the point. So now that you have this, we want to fold the bird base. And there's different ways of doing this. For this traditional model, I'm going to recommend it how the book does it, but for the next models, I want to show a different way because it is, in my mind, more accurate. And that is going to be a huge key when you're working with a lot of details. This is a pretty simple model though. So basically we have the center line here. Yeah, I think you can see it on camera, but just to be sure, there's that center line. And what you want to do, remember this is a closed part, is take this side, just the top flap, there's two flaps here, just the top flap, and you want to align it with the center to where it goes all the way down. And just crease. And you want to do that with the opposite side as well. So this edge is going toward the center. And also, if you do fold, if you're not, I'll need to stop right here, just explain in a minute. If you're not accurate yet, accurate with folding yet, I recommend not going over the center line if you can help it. So it's better to be a little bit under than it is to like go over like this, because then the paper bunches up right here. So like if you go over, it starts to get really messy. If you go under a little bit, you can control it. You can control the results, the final results, a lot better. See how there's a small gap there, but it still looks neat. Okay. Anyway, there's that step, and now what you want to do is this top triangle right here. Pin's not ready. Do it like this. This top triangle right here, you want to fold that behind, but you don't want to go over the top part of this right here, of these two flaps. So turn it over, and also keep it centered. And notice the center line right here. If you fold it down and it's going like this, that's inaccurate. You want it to be right on that center line. And let it go as far as it possibly can go without ruining the shape of the paper, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, keep that folded like this and then turn it over. Unfold these two flaps, and if you will, there's a bunch of layers down here. Just lift up this very top one. Lift it up like this a little bit, and I can see that right here the paper is bunching up a little bit. If you will, just make that kind of flush with your finger. Just kind of press it. It's doing that. Okay. And now, if you notice, if you pay attention, so what we did earlier is leave yours as it is right now. But I'm just going to go back and show you. What we did earlier is we folded this like this, remember? And then we unfolded it, and there's a valley fold right here. Well, there's two layers of paper that we did that to. There's this layer and this layer. This one is a valley fold. This one, when we lift it up, as you can see, it's a mountain fold. What we need to do is we need both of these to be valley folds. And it's a lot easier if you take if you start from the bottom, because it's already a valley fold, and just press in. And then this one, just pull up and just work it slowly to where it becomes, it's like this. Okay, not sure if the camera got all of that, so let's do it again on this side just to show you. So again, we start from the bottom, just slowly work our way up, and it will kind of align with you when you do it. Okay, and now turn it over. So lift this flap up, this triangle. We're going to do the same thing on this side, except now we don't have to fold this flap down on this side because there's already a crease right here. So this side goes toward the center. And if you folded it accurately on the back, they should relatively align. Like, you can't see past, you can't see this layer right here past this side if I'm looking at it like this, and vice versa, I can't see this layer past. That's how you know if you did it fairly accurate. Okay, I'll do this one. And if you can go ahead and unfold this. Okay, I'm just rotating it to make it easier, but just make sure that you are, that you don't get your sides mixed up, because I know a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people, you know, when you start rotating the paper, they try to rotate it and then they do it like this, and it's just, it's not correct for this origami. So just really make sure that you are doing as I'm doing it. Okay, so the same thing, just unfold this and then lift up, except for now when we lift up, see this crease right here? Don't go past that crease. If you just push it like that, it should go. And then same thing, start from the bottom, go all the way up. Start from the bottom, go all the way up. You see right here, I didn't fold it quite accurate, but it'll be okay. Okay, so this is the bird base. This is what it looks like. Ignore the marks I did on it. Okay, so what's going to happen is this is going to become the back, these the wings, and one of this is going to be the head and the tail. And now what we want to do is pretty much, it's a lot like what we just did a couple steps ago, where we folded this side to this side. That's pretty much what we're doing. So take the top layer only. Remember to keep the back on top. Well, to keep the triangle facing upwards. So fold this right here. And try to make sure that this goes all the way down. Don't try to fold it like this. Like, don't do that. Make sure that this goes all the way down. So you're folding it in half, pretty much all the way down. And instead of unfolding it, we're just going to leave it. And so do the same with this one. And if it helps, like right here, if you're like, you get here and you're kind of like, where's the center? Remember what I said, it's better to not go enough than it is to go over the center, because if you go over the center, it's going to start bunching up when we try to do more folds. So you can unfold it if it helps you to fold the other side more accurately. Okay, so same thing with this side. Make sure the triangle is still up. Okay, other side. Alright, and now what you want to do, a lot of books will just say to flip both of these up, or even do a fold right here, like a reverse fold, I'll do a valley fold and then do a reverse fold. What I recommend is first see what side you want to be the head and tail. And what I mean by that is, more than likely, one of these points at the bottom will be slightly more accurate than the other. And just kind of gauge, and even I didn't fold it as accurately as I would like to. I think you want the more accurate side to be the head. And I think in this case it's going to be this left one. This is going to be the tail. And so take what side the head is on and open in between. Okay. You should see a fold right here. Just flip it up along that line. We should see a line. Just flip it up along the line like that. Push it to where it looks something like this. And then just close it back. Okay. Now for the tail, same thing, open it. Instead of flipping it all the way up though, flip it up, and then before you push it all the way here, go ahead and fold this part in half. Now, the bottom here, I don't know if you can see it, but there is this line. There's a line here, and there's a line here. That top line, I would align it to where it's even with the top line, just about the edge of that, and then just fold the bottom. Just pinch it. Okay. And now we can fold the wings down. And we want to fold them straight across. Okay, so like I said earlier, like just now, there's two lines. So the paper will not want to fold past that point. And that point. So what you want to do is just fold it down roughly as far as it'll go. Like, don't try to do this right here. Just fold it about as far as it'll go. and keep it even with the center. Go ahead and fold that. Flip it over, do the same with the other side. So just as far as it'll go. Okay, then you can kind of push it up. Now for the head, we need to do a reverse fold. So this is the side I'm supposed to be my head. And you just want to open it a little bit and then push it down about as far as you want, well, however big you want the head to be. Here it's just this, like, there's a thumb width, and then there's like this, for me it's about a thumb width and a half, I think, of where I want it to be at. So you have it about like this. This part you want to make into a valley fold, so do a valley fold, and then there's this excess that is not lying flat with this other side. Just push that in, and that's a reverse fold. Okay, and the tail, you can kind of open it and curl it with your thumb if you want, or a pencil or something. You don't have to, but that's pretty much it. Although the back, a lot of people like the back to be like this back right here. You can get that effect if you just take the wings and slightly pull. Now, if you notice it does this right here, that means you have to edit the bottom a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of push these out like that. The same on the tail side. And then do it. You can even pull it a little bit, not too much. Be really careful not to rip it. But that is pretty much it, and it should stand if you did that little thing with the bottom. And if you want, you can even have the wings up, you know, if you like that better. You can curve, like, you can curve one side. You want it to kind of like it's in flight, you know. Do something like that. You can curve it up. You can do really whatever you want to. But anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Leave any feedback that you know. Just tell me what you think of this. So anyway, have a good one.